Guys, Raven Song here. I had been at this for 2 hours. I used to spin all the time. It was a very relaxing family magnet in our household for many, many years. I haven't spun in a long time. I'd spin at festivals periodically, maybe once a year, and side store. Let's get to the point here. I stopped spinning basically the night my son died. I was teaching a spinning class that night when we got the phone call that they were taking him to the hospital. Anyways, so I don't know, there's been some sort of psychological block, so I haven't spun in forever, it seems like. And today I decided, because I'm doing all this slow stitching stuff and thread painting, and the wool for thread painting is so expensive that I decided I've got tons of it down in the basement, and I've got, on my wheels. For some reason it's not pulling again. Ugh, this has just been so frustrating. For some reason it's not wanting to feed onto the bobbin like I want it to, and I've been at this for a couple of hours trying to get it to work simultaneously, the spinning and the bobbin loading. And for some reason it is really giving me a hard time. I don't know what. I've got it maxed out on tension. The only thing I can think of is that maybe my drive band needs replaced, and it's too stretched out. Anyways, I'm kind of leaning towards that, so I might have to take the drive band off for the umpteenth time today and actually shorten it. But I thought I'd show you a little bit of what I decided to pull out, and then show you what I'm doing with all the the fiber arch stuff that I'm getting back into. At least some of it, a different portion of it, with all the slow stitching stuff. But I wanted to show you what I've been making and what I've been working on. And I thought I'd start with the spinning video, but I didn't think it was going to turn into such a come to Jesus meeting with me, because it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. I'm hoping to get a full bobbin of this, and then I've got a bobbin that's been made for a while, probably for a festival a few years ago. Anyways, I'm going to join the two together. Really having a hard time with these things. So this is a bobbin I made a few years ago. You can tell it came out so much smoother than that one is. It's making me kind of crazy. Anyways, I'll apply the two together and see if it comes out thin enough to do my thread painting with. Looking at this, where it's twisted together in some of these spots, I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be just the right. I may have to fine tune my skills again. It's been so long that the whole patting your stomach and chewing bubble gum walking at the same time is has to come back to me, because this is been a challenging afternoon. Anyways, I'll be right back and I'll show you what I've been doing. All right, so at least another hour, maybe 2 have gone by, and I cut the old drive band and tied it back together. I think that would be just enough shrinkage to take care of it. I wanted to put it on, and it snapped in a totally different place, and it kept snapping and kept snapping. So obviously the drive band was worn out. That's a given now. I'm gonna adjust this just a little bit. Anyways, so, and of course, the only drive bands I had do not belong to the wheel that I am using right now. The 2 wheels I have, they were all the other ones that I used to sell. They were Kromskis. This one's the Polonaise, and the other one I have is the Mazurka. They were the 2 originals that were imported into the US when Poland was allowed to import again, import to the United States for the first time. And yeah, so of course now the dogs want to play. Anyways, so I just had to adjust one of those. They're a little bit, the Symphony was a lot bigger, which I'm surprised. The build of that machine must be a little bit different. Anyways, I was able to cut that one down, maybe 3 inches to make it work on this, and that seemed to help because it allows more tension room over here on the mother, so that I can pull it back further and apply more tension to the string, which will help if I ever want to change my whirls, which are other tension mechanisms, and all of them are smaller, and it's like, okay, there's no way any of those would work with the band that I had. It was just way too far stretched out, and this one was too big, so definitely had to cut them down. But anyways, I got it going. Now I need to just get back into practice again. Some of my wool is a little bit trying to felt. It's been in plastic bags for years, and trying to flatten out and combine with itself, being squished around all over the place. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to work on that. Might have to run it through the carding machine to loosen up the thread again, but otherwise it's working. This is mohair. This is from one of my goats from years ago, probably Miss Marianne. She was my favorite. She produced some really nice hair. To move the adjust the tension again. Yeah, it's just there wasn't any room to adjust the tension, and that needed to be fixed. And I definitely can do that now. See, it goes in much better. Anyways, that is the spinning process. Now I'll get on with my story about thread painting and slow stitching, because that was the whole reason for this. Is that hooked? Trying to keep it from curling back on itself, but sometimes that's not cooperating well. Anyways, now I gotta get all the hair off of me because I feel like I just brushed out my dogs or trimmed them. Anyways, I'll come back with the rest of this. Ta-da! I'm back. Anyways, so this is what started the whole thing. I have been doing all kinds of thread painting and been collecting lots of threads. Now, all these pearl cottons, I've got a whole display left over from when I was selling fiber art stuff. But yeah, I've gotten into these. This is my first nest, or second nest, that I've made from following Kate in the Nest. And it's just, you know, just a wonky nest of threads basket that I made, and just basically collaging fabrics, old vintage fabrics and some modern ones, and doing this painting, thread painting stuff. I'm really enjoying the thread painting. I may do more on this as time goes by, but for now it's a functional piece. But yeah, I just love the thread painting and using these wools. Most of them come from New Zealand that you find on the market. There are some other ones, but they're all super expensive. And this is 25 meters. I'm not sure what 25 meters is, but like these ones, they're only 10 yards. Size 8, 10 yards. These are size 8s too, I think. Anyways, the apple yards you get a little bit more for, so that's a little bit better buy. But these ones are just crazy expensive, and I just used up one that I just fell in love with. And rather than go order some more, which I actually did, where'd it go? Put it in, I actually purchased it on Amazon, and then I went back and I canceled the order because it's like, you know what? Get your butt off the chair, go downstairs and get your spinning wheels out. I thought I was just gonna have to dust them out, dust them off, you know, do some fine tuning, and I'd be fine. 4 hours later, I've got a new drive band. It's completely cleaned. I had to adjust it a couple times, and yeah, I think now it's down to getting back into practice because it has been so many years since I have spun. Well, I don't know where the one is that I lost. It was a pink. It had a lot of fuchsia in it, or magenta. Very pretty, pretty pink. And I used it all up. So I was going to reorder, and I decided against it and canceled the order and decided to pull out the spinning wheels. So I'm repeating myself now, and here I am. 4 hours later, and I'm finally up functioning. I've got everything out here, but hopefully this stuff twisting back on itself should be 8, a number 8. It might be a little bigger. So I think it'll make number 8. If not, I could try using it 1 ply and not 2 ply. Let's see, it's not going to spin much on this older bobbin. Yeah, that's a lot. That's almost a sock grade. It may not be number 8. Yeah, that might be too thick. So I may have to run it as a single ply. It's just that the 2 ply makes it much more durable. Does less breakage. But if nothing else, I've got 2 bobbins of white that I can dye. I've got a huge amount of dyes down in my basement too. I used to dye the mohair and sell the locks for novelty yarns. where you'd apply, you in the backspin, when you backspun your, two-plied your yarn, you spun that into it, and you had this beautiful locks of mohair just curling out all over the place. It was just beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Anyways, but yeah, I used to sell the dyed locks. And a lot of people used them for other things too. They just worked them into other projects. It was quite a popular item at the festivals and places that I went. So I don't see the one that I was looking for, but it was a variegated pink, and it had fuchsia in it. It was one of these ones that was very expensive. So yeah, that's my goal. Anyways, I'm going to work on this and do some more thread painting. I've actually done some sewing with the ribbon too, and I'm really looking forward to getting into all this stuff again. I've got the time, might as well take advantage of it. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. See you on the tube. Bye.